Hello, welcome to The Working Hour, a WHMS radio style podcast. I'm Mike, and alongside me is my best friend and co host, Shane. Say hi, Shane.
Hi, how's it going? Thanks for tuning in.
If you're new to the program here, what we do is we're going to give a track by track analysis of a specific album. I will let Shane introduce the album here in a second because it is his week. We do alternate, so like I said, this is Shane's week. My week will be next week. And if you're new to the channel, last week we did Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill, so check that out. Anyways, what we do is track by track analysis, thoughts, feelings, and then we give an overall score rating of 1 through 10. So, with that being said, what album are we doing this week?
So this week, also, let's not forget to mention that we also have a bonus track
Yes, the bonus track. Thank
every
you very
single
much.
week. So this week I picked the album. Mike's got the bonus. Next week he'll have the album. I'll have the bonus.
It alternates.
It alternates.
We take turns here at the Working Hour.
So this week's album is going to be "After the Curtains Close" by Jonathan Bree. "After the Curtains Close" is Jonathan Bree's fourth studio album as a solo musician. The album was released on July 17th of 2020 through Lil Chef Records. It's the genre is indie slash alternative, but I saw like a lot of like other
It's got a wide
niche
net.
subgenres of music that it like kind of fits into. With a runtime of 40 minutes and 39 seconds. Singles off the album include "Waiting on the Moment," "Cover Your Eyes," "Kiss My Lips," "In the Sunshine," and "Heavenly Vision," with "Until We're Done" being a promotional single. I don't really know what the distinction between a promotional single and just a regular single is, but
Hey, if you know, leave a comment.
yeah.
Enlighten us.
I won't lie, it was a little tricky finding information on this album online. From what I gathered online, and also just the themes of the album, this is very much a breakup album. Before last week, I really only knew the song "You're So Cool," which was last week's bonus album, or last week's bonus song, and I hadn't really picked this week's album at that point, and it was right before Mike came through to record the episode. So I just kind of thumbed through this album, kind of curious, and thought it sounded interesting enough to give a chance, and that's why we wound up reviewing it. So, do you have anything you would like to add?
I do want to just add, and we'll get into it, I'm sure, but I did want to give a shout out to there's a couple backing vocals and then just women that have full roles in songs. So we have Jamie Lee Smith, Rebecca Stitt, Britta Phillips, Crystal Choi, and Princess Chelsea are also all featured on this album. Whether, like I said, they're singing the main lead or backing vocals. So I just wanted to shout them out. I'm sure we're gonna put them in individually. I know I did on a couple, but some of them I couldn't really find out who it was singing the backing vocals, so I wasn't sure. But I want to make sure we shouted them all out. Other than that, he's from New Zealand, which I think is pretty cool. So this album was released in November, correct?
I got it in July. July of 2020 is what I got.
Okay, some reason I see November. But anyways, um, November is like their spring. So
Really?
yeah, in New Zealand with the season changes. So I thought that kind of was a thing. I really thought, yeah, mine says, I'm sorry, April. I don't know where I was at with November.
April is their spring.
April 24th. Yeah, imagine that. Anyways, I'm gonna put my foot in my mouth now and
You're
let
good.
you take over track number one.
Okay.
Take it away.
So, track number one, "Happy Days," coming in at 3 minutes and 36 seconds. That's days with DAZ, not DAYS. 3 minutes and 36 seconds. The song right away has me kind of unsure of what direction it's going to be taking. The high pitched strings contrasted by the low strings, as well as like some distant percussion, followed by Jonathan's soft, like almost sleepy delivery of his vocals. "Watching your show, having a beer, love it with a hand on the back of the head. Don't want to think about how we will end." 46 seconds in, the electric guitar and more of a consistent, lighter drum beat comes in, as well as some bass guitar and faint keys. The vocals also start to pick up a little bit of energy, not totally different delivery, but like a lot less sleepy. Yeah, it doesn't sound nearly as sleepy, that's for sure. Uh, don't want to think about the consequence, just want to lock between your heavenly legs. between this line and the one about a hand on the back of the head, the song has like some underlying like sexuality to it.
Hmm.
About halfway through, the music starts to quiet before ringing out with like an epic. It rings out epic with a multitude of instruments, including some deep, distinct drumming, as the guitar picks up pace as well as the vocals. At 250, some backing vocals come in as the song approaches its peak. The "We'll have fun, fun, fun till we crash this car" as the song quietly like starts to wind down. It's the first song off the album, and it kind of has me excited. The song seemed to change its sound multiple times, but it seemed pretty seamless the way it transitioned from like
Hmm.
one sound to another.
Yeah, it wasn't too abrupt.
Um, yeah, I found it kind of impressive. It's not a super earworm, but it was very well put together. I gave it just a flat 7.
Okay. Well, slightly a little bit higher. Similarness, so like I thought it was a very solid opening track, with a good amount of energy throughout the whole runtime. Similar like what you were saying though, it does kind of come off sleepy. He's very just like kind of quiet on his delivery on the opening part of the track. I thought for me this was like my second track that I'd really been introduced to him, like hearing him, and I was kind of comparing it to "You're So Cool," where it's kind of which, like Shane said on the intro, that was the bonus track on last week's album, where we covered "Jagged Little Pill" by Alanis Morissette. But I could kind of see like a lot of similarities with the sounds and the instrumentation. I thought this had a little bit more bass, like a nice bass line to it. Um, and it kind of does change directions multiple times, like you were saying. The opening is kind of really heavy with the string sound, with the bass intensifying, and then right around the halfway point, the music kind of fades out and gets quiet, and then it kind of comes back in with a more intensified sound, and the percussion is amplified a little bit. But it's very tight percussion. I don't know if he uses a drum machine or not.
I know he plays drums.
Okay,
I don't know if he plays them on like the entirety of this album, but I guess that was like a his instrument that he went to.
nice.
But as far as a drum machine, I'm not sure. I know there's definitely like plenty of synth on here,
Yeah,
but as far
that's
as a drum machine goes, I'm not sure.
yeah. I'm not sure either. But yeah, "Happy Days" is a great opening track, and I was reading it supposedly about a relationship that's on its way out, and the narrator's craving the happy days. The opening verse with the lyrics "Don't want to think about how we win, just want to switch off again and again." And later on, we get the same verse that you had. "We'll have fun, fun, fun till we crash this car. We'll have fun, fun, fun till the T-bird has gone." I agree, though. I thought there was like a little bit of sexual tension in the track too. Fun, 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 and that the verse I was just talking about kind of has some solid backing vocals, which I thought was kind of a nice touch too. It's got a nice like electronic ballad sound to it, similar to "You're So Cool" in a way. Although I thought it was a little bit more electronic. "You're So Cool" versus "Happy Days." But yeah, this wasn't anything spectacular, but it really like piqued my interest. And like I said, it was new to me, new to my ears. I gave it a 7.2,
Okay.
and that will take us to "Heavenly Vision," track number 2. I have the runtime at 3 minutes and 11 seconds, so I thought this one was kind of jazzy on the intro. And Jonathan's vocals are a little bit deeper here, which is kind of a theme throughout. He goes very deep at times, but
Hmm.
I kind of like his lighter tone stuff. But I like this track. I kind of thought it gave out a little bit of a Bowie vibe.
I could see it. Yeah.
I was playing some of it, some of the album, probably not this track, but I was just playing it on the speaker at home. And Lindsay was like, "He kind of sounds like Bowie," and I was like, "Girl, I put that in my notes." But it's hard to listen to this track and not kind of get into the groove. It sounds like there's an organ on the intro
Mm,
with a
hmm.
nice little, side of strings, which is very common for Jonathan Bree to utilize some strings. It's got a little bit more percussion, a little bit more of a drum beat, and a lack of synth on this one compared to the previous track, which made it a little bit different. I noticed some more backing vocals on this track, on the previous track, but I noticed it way more here on this track. And again, it was a nice touch and creates more of a personal feeling to go with the intimate lyrical writing. I like this one, but the lyrics more perfectly like they were fine. They didn't really speak to me and draw me in. This is more of just a melody that I kind of just enjoyed listening to, and that's really like the only thing that really swept me off my feet. Was it's just an easy listen. It's not a bad track by any means, and I feel like I'm a little high with the flat 7 on this. But I did like it because it was just such an easy listen, and it's very smooth. It doesn't get too crazy. It stays on point throughout the whole song. I also liked his deep vocals paired with the female background singer. Uh,
I feel like he does that very well. I feel like the female vocalists
they
that are
complement
featured
each
on
other
this,
very
yeah,
well, for sure. He's got a good thing going there. Um, the way Heavenly like Vision is paired with the musical, like the how they come together and the music kind of swells with his delivery. I thought that was really nice. So yeah, I mean, I stuck with a flat 7 on this. I'm curious to see what you have to say.
okay,
This was a single too, correct?
yes, it
Heavenly Vision,
was.
yes, as it should be.
So the thing that caught my ear right away, the first time I heard it was it has this like kind of '60s English sort of vibe to it. Um,
It's old timey.
yeah, it's just kind of what I got from the instrumentation. It has a very like dingy, like I don't know.
I think that's kind of where I was at with the Bowie. Like it sounds a little, not the Bowie was '60s, but still, it's older,
Yeah,
and he does that a lot. Like I talked about that on You're So Cool. I thought it had a lot older sound to it than something that was released in that was what 2018.
2018.
Yeah, and this was 2020. So
And I'm hearing his like vocals right now. I'm like I can totally see like the Bowie
Bowie,
comparison
yeah,
for sure. But yeah, and it that like high like tingy bit of music, it contrasts really well with like the low synth. The bass guitar, the drum beat comes in followed by Jonathan's baritone vocals. The vocals on this track they're more clear on this song and really have a way of like kind of captivating you.
hmm
And I don't know. It's while I've heard better vocals, like for sure, Jonathan is like he's no slouch. He knows
no,
what he's doing with like the
his
type of
delivery,
voice that he
yeah,
has. The theatrical nature to his vocals do come off like pretty effortlessly. Doesn't seem like it's put on. It's like oh, you just oh.
that's his spiel.
But strolling the warm and restless night, it was the summer, and you were fun, and you were mine. Right after this, the female backing vocals come in, and it makes a really great addition to the song. Astronomy, such a heavenly vision. On your knees, such a heavenly vision. La 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 la. I particularly like the such a heavenly vision,
Yeah,
like the way that it just like
yeah, with the
gets
music,
and it
yeah,
plays along with the drums. It
yes.
just
It's very nice. Like I
just
said, I was more swept away with just the melody and the way that the song kind of rolled.
yeah.
Not so much with the content of it. It was more just like I just like listening to this.
There's a lot of songs on this album that I feel that way.
I don't want to over, I don't want to look into it too much.
Right. But yeah, just such a heavenly vision. The drums and like the sliding orchestral strings that are like played alongside of it at the end of these lines, like it's very clean. There's a very like dreamy beauty to this song. Just puts you at ease when you're listening to it. Around the halfway point, the song, like I don't know, the strings like get a little swell as well as around 210 through until 247. There's this extended instrumental breakdown before the female backing vocals come back to close out the song. The song is like a tad repetitive, I will say, but I'll give it a pass because I just find the song really pretty and its elements come together very very well. Um, it's funny because we kind of swapped on this one. I am a 7-3 on this one,
Okay, pretty
so
close to
yeah.
opposite of the previous track.
On to track number 3, we have "Waiting on the Moment." It's another single coming in at 3 minutes and 5 seconds. The drum beat right away is a little bit more upbeat in its energy. Um, and it's followed by the guitar, but instead, or no, sorry, upbeat energy to it. I expected it to be followed by guitar, but instead it was met with more of the orchestral strings. Then the bass guitar comes in before it's just bass, drums, and Jonathan's vocals. This used to be our AM haunts, karaoke, and cheap sucky. I do like the way the vocals like liven up and become layered as well as the swell of strings on the lines. Now I'm just waiting for the moments when it's depressingly clear that we are finally through. From here, the guitar comes in and kind of takes command just with how good it sounds and welcome it is given how little it's been on the album so far. Um, Onto New Beginnings and Fading History. The song has a dramatic bit of synths and keys around 1 minute and 30 seconds before the vocals become layered beneath the guitar and the synth, as well as the glockenspiel as well, which I'm honestly not surprised to see show up on this. It's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, it
totally.
fits. Yeah.
And his musical trappings and whatnot. Song becomes very synth for the last like 35 to 40 seconds. It's around this point in the album that I started to kind of understand what the album was going to throw at me. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, kind of, I know what to expect now. Now that I kind of have, I don't know, a large test group of his songs. But yeah, it's baritone vocals, orchestral strings, and like more conventional instruments like guitars, drums, etc. As well as some nice little like additional backing vocals. Has not gotten old yet. In fact, my scores have only gone up like thus far on this album. I gave this a 7.4 out of 10.
Okay. Nice. So we talked about it last week on the car ride when we were like literally you were kind of thumbing through the album on the way home. And this one on the intro, it sounds like a bonus track we covered before. I forget the episode, the Duran Duran Invisible, which was your bonus. Um, just the drumming sounds similar, and I hear it every time I listen to the track, but it's really just on that intro. I can definitely tell why this was a single. It's another solid track that makes me want to tap my foot. It's very catchy. And again, this is another one that kind of has some Bowie vibes. Um, it's almost like, man, I wish I could see them do something together because I feel like they'd make a nice little, I don't know, collaboration.
Oh yeah.
So it sounds like his vocals kind of are on a loop with like a slight delay. Like he has like a backtrack kind of supporting him on parts of this, which I liked. I thought it was a nice sound. Musically, I thought it sounded similar to the last two tracks, but a blend, more of like a blend of the last two tracks, using components from both and kind of creating something new, a new blend. There was a lot more string on this one, which I really liked, and it was totally taking the lead, which is a common theme. Like he loves to use orchestral sounds. The delivery of this verse at 35 seconds is great, and it comes so early, and it just kind of gets the ball rolling, and it doesn't stop. And it's the big verse. I guess the chorus, if you will. Now I'm just waiting on the moment when it's depressingly clear that we're finally through. No chance of reconciliation. Then I'll swipe right until the hurt has left me too. And I think about it and I keep going back to it, but it reminds me of You're So Cool with it's so older sounding than it really is. The fact that this track is only 6 years old and not 46 is crazy to me. But then we get a lyric like I'll swipe right until the hurt has left me
Yeah,
too.
just talking about Tinder.
Yeah, and I like that. Like
Mm-hmm.
I actually never used Tinder.
Really?
No, never
All
did.
right.
I tried
Grinder. I hear
plenty.
you. Sorry, couldn't help
It's
it.
like there was no. I was gonna say there's no subs on there, but there probably is actually
Oh yeah, I'm
quite a
sure.
few. No, I did the Plenty of Fish for a minute, but I was like, this is not.
Ain't it?
This ain't it. But no, I liked it. I like that new age vibe with like an older classic techno dance vibe to it, and it's very slow with the percussion. It's just it's easy toe tapper, and I like this one. Um, and like I said, this was the one in the car last week where you kind of gave me the option of the album choice, and I had to go with this album just based on the track. Especially just kind of I like going into something blind because some of the best albums we've reviewed have been at least I like just being surprised.
It's nice.
And you pick out albums that I haven't heard or vice versa, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like man, I really like this one. And then there's some where we come together and we're like, what the hell was I thinking this week? I love Christina McVie, but
It's
that
like
was
I love the National, but
that was a rough. I give this a 7.8 though. I really enjoyed this one, 100%. And that will move us to another solid track. I think I can speak for you on this one. We have track number 4, Kiss My Lips, coming in at 3 minutes, 19 seconds. Now, the thing that's a little different on this one is there's no Jonathan Bree on this. He is absent. This is just vocals from Princess Chelsea and just her alone. And it's an interesting track, and I'm going to keep it somewhat short on this. The only complaint I have is I wish Jonathan was on it. Like, I think he would pair really well with her. But I can totally understand, like, I'll walk it back. I can totally understand why he went with a female on this. Just the vocals alone, the majority of the track, I think it's meant for more of a woman's perspective, like from her viewpoint. And I don't think his baritone vocals would sound as good as she is on this.
yeah, with some of like the instrumentation, it like
Yeah, it
No,
wouldn't work. Even
it'd be kind of, I don't know, it'd be kind of weird.
yeah, it just wouldn't. I don't think it would work. So I give him hats off to him for doing this. But I do think at parts he could complement Princess Chelsea, and I don't even want to say like a duet, um, or even like isolated parts. I don't know how they would make it work. I just wish he was on it because it is such like a good track. Um, I just hate the fact that he's not a part of it. I guess that's my only complaint, and I'll keep it short at that. That's the only thing I have against it. Overall, I think it's an excellent track. Musically, it's really good. It doesn't veer too far off the path from the previous track. It's very upbeat. Probably one of the more upbeat and pleasant sounding tracks so far. It's very spring like sounding and just upbeat. I really like the verse though. More than a child wants a toy, more than Paris wanted Helen of Troy. And then there's like a bum, ba-da, bum, ba in the
Hmm.
background. I believe is a horn, and it sounds so good right there, and it's very nice and up tempo. And again, it's very upbeat, and it's a solid high point of this track, and really of the album. And again, a single, well done. Like, you can't ignore why it wasn't a single. I gave this a 7.6, which it could be a little higher, but I think just because he's not on it, it kind of just
Sure.
takes it out of it for me. But
Okay.
as a song by itself, easily an 8 because I really vibed it. But just because he's not on it, I'm gonna stick with my 7.6.
It is weird because like what you were saying about how like his vocals wouldn't have like fit if he was like the main singer on this. It's like I totally agree, but it's weird because like musically it's like, oh, this is totally like his
It's in
style
his
of
wheelhouse,
music.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, but just some of like the places it was going
Well,
musically.
I just think, and not to be a sexist or anything, but just him singing, "Kiss my leg,"
Yeah,
it's like
sure.
I don't know if I can get down with that, Mr. Jonathan Bree. You're gonna have to take that. You're gonna have to take that silhouette off.
Yeah.
Give
Yeah,
me
take
some of
them
that
pantyhose
tongue.
off your head, boy. Let's see them lips. Flat lips. This
Well,
ain't sultry.
cut a hole in that pantyhose there.
So this song, like, this was a song that I felt like ultimately, I mean, I could be wrong. It may have been the last song. It may have very well been Waiting on the Moment. But I remember showing you "Kiss My Lips" as it was like really the first song I really played off of this album, and you were like, "This is interesting, interesting, okay, okay." But I have it listed. This was like the song that ultimately got like this album
broke
pick for
the uh,
us.
broke the chain.
Yeah. It's funny. This song doesn't have any Jonathan Bree like on vocals, but he was playing the drums on this.
Okay, he got
Uh,
in there.
yeah. So ultimately, like, if you
He's back there like, "That's my fucking song."
did you watch the did you see the music video
I
for
didn't see
this?
the music video for this. Is it a good one though?
Yeah, it's very like '60s black and white. She's singing, and like the entire band is like up on these like platforms behind her.
Okay.
It's almost like she's performing on like almost like a game show type of
Some
like,
Ed Sullivan.
yeah, something like that. And it's very cool. And like you see Jonathan Bree back there on the drums, like doing this thing.
So he got his get up on.
He does. Yeah. But
So could you imagine him in like Orville Peck in a concert? It's like
holy
I
shit.
can't see your face.
Yeah. I was gonna say, put fucking MF Doom in there. It's like skeleton.
I'm beyond the grave. R.I.P.
No, yeah. Which
Respect.
ultimately, I kind of felt the same with this song as I did whenever MF Doom kind of took a backseat on his album and let the guests like have the spotlight on his song.
It's very similar. I think he did it on 2 or 3 tracks.
Yeah. So the opening is kind of dreaming with like the lone keys echo out and flow, and they line up to the flow of the upcoming lyrics. The boom 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 boom. It's
It's very catchy.
yeah, it's good.
It's like, how could you not like this?
So yeah, and then the drum beat hits, followed by some of the snapping and the bass guitar, and the vocals by Princess Chelsea. Her vocals, they're very soft and pleasant on the ears. Uh, no tender words ward off the dark. Thoughts that creep in, dear, when we're apart. Like, the orchestral strings come in, as well as some like much welcome like brass instruments as well.
Yeah, the horns.
Yeah, it's like, ooh, that's good.
Mama.
There's a rapid beat of the drums before becoming more steady and thumping, with some deliberate brass giving some like very bouncy energy going into the chorus. The song and music video both have such a '60s vibe to them. Kiss my lips all through the night, 'cause I want you, boy. 'Cause I want you, boy.
Yeah, could you imagine Jonathan Bree singing that?
Yeah, no.
It's like, oh, you have me, bud.
Can't hit it like that. There's also some like vocal looping on the through the night, 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 night. The retro and modern elements of the song mesh together very well. Um, can I want you anymore, baby, baby? Come on, make me feel that joy, baby, baby. 'Cause I want you, boy. 'Cause I want you, boy. Repeats with two different deliveries to close out the song. Princess Chelsea really shines on this song, and I love the 60s sound to it as well. And I'm like not ashamed to admit it's my favorite so far off the album. Gave this an 8.1 out of 10.
I could see you totally getting down on it.
Yeah. So I mean
Yeah, I'm not criticizing. It's solid.
it's ultimately not my favorite, but it's
so we haven't got to the favorite yet.
Haven't got to my favorite yet.
Okay.
But we will get there. On to track number 5. We have promotional single. Until We Are
Whatever
Done.
the hell that means.
No idea. But it got a music video, so I don't know. Song opens with some like buzzing synths and a quiet beat beneath the synths. They hit like a 1, 2, 3, 4 before the guitar and bass come in 6 seconds in. And it has like a dark atmosphere to the song, and it like slightly reminds me of Massive Attack, just a smidge.
I could see it.
Just a little bit.
Now that you say that.
The vocals are very effects heavy. Take it slow. Show me how you move, girl. Back it up all night. Back it up all night until we're done. All night, keep moving.
Mm-hmm.
All night, we work it. I like the female vocals on All Night, We Work It. And the repetition of that is really clean and nice. The guitar rings out into the void, and the synth like kind of skips a little bit, becoming closer and closer. Then the bass comes in, adding a punchiness to the song. There's also some maraca that like starts to rattle, and it pairs really well with the drums and the synth. The deep drum beats lead us into this like kind of sinister sounding piano whenever it comes in. The song really has this like driving nature to it, while being like kind of sexy, but also kind of creeping. You Are My Desire Tonight. There's Nothing Below Us. At 2:23, the electric guitar has this gnarly buzz to it. And then again at 2:33, leading into an instrumental that lasts until 3:18. The music has this way of almost spinning out like at the end of the track. The lyrics on this song are very repetitive, but I feel like this song is going for more of a vibe than anything. And I feel like it accomplished that vibe very well. I can absolutely see why this was a promotional single. It's got a very cool feel to it, no pun intended.
You're so cool.
I give this a 7.6 out of 10.
Okay, nice. So I thought it was a little different. It kind of gives me more of a rock and roll vibe.
Mm-hmm.
But similar to what you were saying, it is kind of dark. And sinister is not a word I would use, but I used that actually later on in the album. There was a track that's kind of dark in a way, but it totally fits the bill. You're nail on the head there. And I thought his vocals were a little bit more distorted, more on this track than any other track to this point. There's also some female backing vocals, as you touched on. Until We're Done is sung by Bree, and then All Night, Keep Moving, All Night We Work It, female backing vocal. And I'm not sure who that was, but it's very well delivered, and like you said, it is repeated multiple times, but it's so catchy and it's so good. There's also like a nice bass line kind of driving the song. It's kind of more.
Does it remind you of the Gorillaz at all? Not really.
I think that's a little bit of a stretch for me, but
Okay.
I mean I can see what you're saying there. A little bit, some noodles.
Yeah, there's little spots.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel like there's kind of like a bass line kind of driving it. It's not so heavy on the strings like a lot of the other previous tracks, but there is plenty of strings still in it. But that bass line kind of gives it more of the rock and roll sound to me. The strings do come in around the 130 mark, kind of strong, and there's also like a interesting sound of what sounds like some ooze or some other type of synth, creating the noise. It kind of sounds like a whirling to me. It's kind of hard to describe, but the track is solid overall. It's not as good as the last two, in my opinion, but it's still a solid listen, and it fits the album really well. like I said, the song does utilize quite a bit of repetition, especially on the tail end of the track. But it's fine because I enjoyed what it's repeating. For a 4 minute track, it flowed really well and it was an easy listen. At this point, I'm like really vibing with the album, and I'm kind of like just kind of surprised. My socks are a little knocked off there on the ground because I'm just like, this is pretty good. I'm not gonna give it a crazy high scoring, not as high as you did there, Shane, but it's still pretty good. I gave this a 7.3. So, and that will take us to track number 6, In the Sunshine. I had the runtime at 3 minutes 48 seconds. So it's back to the nice like orchestral sound that we're kind of used to with Jonathan Bree, and just the overallness of the album. It's very heavy on that sound to begin with. The vocals are pretty clear and right up in our ears. Bree's softly singing, but kind of talking too. The music kind of fades out on that first verse, but then comes back in, really sending like more of an intimate tone. I thought the lyrics are really short on this one, just 8 lines if you search it on Google. I was a fan of the la la la. It's very nice, very catchy. Again, utilizing Bree's deep baritone vocals. I don't have a whole lot for this one, just kind of based on, like I said, it's kind of short on the lyrical lines, which is kind of a theme now that we're halfway through the album. On the back side of the album, there's quite a few songs that are pretty short with the lyrical lines. Um, like I said, I don't have a whole lot for it. It fits the album, but it kind of missed the mark for me, and that's fine because, like I said, I was coming off the last track. Everything has been so good up to this point. I'm kind of waiting for a little bit of a drop off. Um, and I'm not gonna go crazy low on this one because I don't think it's bad. It's just it kind of just missed the mark a little bit for me. But it's not something I would skip, and it's under 4 minutes. It's still a pretty easy listen. I don't really have any complaints with it. It's a high 6 all day in my book. I'm not gonna put it at a 6.9. I don't think it's knocking on the door as a 7 for me. I gave this just a 6.8. It's kind of modest. There's not a whole lot going on. It's not a bad vibe though. I don't hate it.
Okay. So I got the orchestral strings and the bass, the synth keys, like they draw you in. It leads to a very calm and steady drum beat. 44 seconds in, the vocals hit, very clear vocals. Uh, you say we'll be alright. You say it'll be alright. But with far few ties that bind, there's a slide placed by my mind. And just like that, I've listed like a third of the
Yeah,
vocals.
there's not a whole lot of meat on the bone on this one.
Yeah, it's really slim pickings. I'm like, I have to include this entire line, but I'm not leaving Mike much. Um, and yeah, it's I didn't even realize when listening to the song though. It's very deliberate in its pace and the way that it delivers its vocals. The instrumentation makes the song feel it makes it not feel stretched out, as it is very serene and dreamy, always something to notice and focus on, um, before like the next bit of music comes along. So it's always just like, oh, that's nice. Oh, the strings here. Oh, look at that.
It takes its time.
Definitely, definitely. Because I mean, it's almost 4 minutes.
It's almost 4 minutes, and there's not a lot of lyrics, so he's got plenty of time to really
Play.
open it up. Yeah.
So this almost crashing and like snapping sound echoes on the verse as the strings ebb and flow before coming in more on the chorus with some twinkling from the glockenspiel. The la 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 la. On the second verse, the keys come in and they're like really pretty. It's hard to not focus on them. At 3:20, the song winds down as the drums, the snapping, and some of the strings begin to quiet. Like I said earlier, there isn't much going on lyrically, but they are accentuated by some like really stellar instrumentation on this one. Really, like the instruments steal the show on this. Starting to notice a little bit of a reoccurring theme on this album is like if the lyrics aren't crazy, the instrumentation is. You know what I mean? So there's always something to
Either or.
yeah, something is always like not necessarily carrying, but like if something needs carrying, it will
It
step
makes up
up.
for it. Yeah, it makes up for it.
So I I actually went higher on this. I gave this a 7.5.
Okay.
So, onto track number 7. We have Meadows in Bloom coming in at 2 minutes and 36 seconds.
Shorty.
Very short. The vocals come in immediately from Britta Phillips, accompanied with some choir sounding backing vocalization. Comes off as like almost angelic or like fairy tale esque with this like whimsical instrumentation that goes alongside. Like I don't know, I almost feel like I'm like watching like the Nutcracker or some shit
See, it's
listening to
funny you
this.
say that because I was thinking like the Sound of Music in the
Yeah,
field, like after the snow's melted.
yeah, absolutely. Looking up to make out all the shapes in the looking up to make out all shapes there in the sky. Wired for sound, the tears well in her eyes. The way that the strings and the vocals build up with the vocals before the strings like kind of twinkle downward. The drums then hit and punctuate the vocals at 1 minute and 8 seconds. The vocals are done for the rest of the song as it goes full instrumentation from here on out. Also, like of a lot of keys, drumming, strings, as well as like some backing vocalization for like the remainder of the song. The instrumental changes direction a number of times. At 2:10, the strings start to build up and then cut out at 2:15 or 2:25 with the rest of the instrumentation as the song ends. This song was very short and managed to go in a number of interesting directions. I kind of wanted a little bit more vocals though, with the song only being 2 minutes and 36 seconds. I don't know, there being no lyrics past 108, I could feel that absence. And like the vocals were good, so I'm kind of like, I like those. Why are you getting rid of those? Why show me something I can't have? So I went low on this one. I gave this a 6.3.
Really?
Yeah.
It disgusts me. So yeah, it's another track with the heavy female presence via Britta Phillips, Miss Phillips.
Oh, I saw it.
um,
Yeah. She got green eyes. She got red hair.
let's hope not.
Oh,
This track is very dreamy and poppy sounding.
oh she was too.
Creates a pretty good sense of imagery. Like me and you both you were talking more the Nutcracker. I'm talking more the Sound of Music.
I feel like yours is more appropriate, honestly.
Thank you. So it's very short in the lyrics here again, and not really the song that fits. And I'm off here by the date, a November release. But then again, Bree is from New Zealand, and I'm not even going to add that in there. But it creates a very springy vibe, which quite a few of the tracks do kind of create like that. I don't know, sense of life. And there's not really anything on here that's dreary. I mean, we had the one track that we both kind of agreed was a little darker, a little bit more sinister, and there's another one later on to come where I kind of felt that way too. But this is very short on lyrics, like I said. Similar to Kiss My Lips, so I kind of I understand why I have a female vocalist here, but again, I think Brie could have contributed something here. And kind of like you were saying, like this is such a short track, and it's good, and it's like it could have been a little better. It's still not bad. I'm actually a little higher on it than you, quite a bit actually. But overall, like I said, I think it was fine. I don't mind the mix up with the female vocalists. I was kind of like with Kiss My Lips, but this is kind of a change of pace, and it works with the album. It's nice, and this is another one where yeah, I wish Brie was on it, but again, I don't know how well he would have done with this. I didn't like this as much as Kiss My Lips, um, and that goes without being said. I feel like Kiss My Lips is very good. We both agreed on that. Um, the verse though, Wired for Sound, the tears well in her eyes. Listening to the band that came through town. That's right around the 43-second mark. The music transformation right there in the swell after it's right during when she says listening to the band that came through town. That is like my favorite part of the track, and it comes so early on. And then kind of like you said, it's like, why are you gonna show me something I can't have? It doesn't really go back to that. So it's decent and it's worthy of a 7-1, maybe even like a 7-2 to me. But again, I'm in the same boat as you. I kind of wish it would have elaborated a little bit more, and it could have been longer. But it's fine. Not a big letdown. I could see a little bit more in it. Do you want to take a quick break and we'll
Yeah.
come back? All right, guys, we're going to be right back. All right, friends, we are back. We left off coming right back into track number 8, which is titled Cover Your Eyes. 3 minutes, 16 seconds. I enjoyed the stringy intro on this one. With it's got a nice upbeat tempo to it. And it's got a nice little bass line too, which is kind of I've pointed out the little bass line. It's very subtle. It's not like, this isn't something you would turn up the bass to, but it's noticeable. So the lyrics start right around the right before the 30-second mark. Bree's vocals sound quite different on this one, but he has that distinct sound too that kind of comes back, and it's definitely there at certain pronunciations. Musically, I thought this one carried itself really well. Like we were kind of talking. Excuse me, got the hiccups. Ate a little snack on our break. Like you were saying, if it lacks something, it makes up for it. And this one musically, I thought really carried itself. Like it carried the whole song. Not to say anything against the lyrics, but there's quite a few spaces where there's not a lot of vocals going on, and I found the music like still really entertaining, filling the gaps. The verse "Exercise your demons and perpetrate the crime."
Perpetrate.
Perpetrate. Thank you. Perpetrate the crime. Sink lower in your own design. The strings kind of amplify during the delivery of this, and the remainder of the verse, it's a nice little swell before getting back into the main riff. It's another dreamy sounding track, which is again kind of a common theme here and there throughout the album. Overall, I liked it, but I wasn't super high on this one. But it's kind of just a quick in and out for what it's worth. I mean, the runtime not being that long, just a little over 3 minutes. Nothing crazy. There just wasn't a lot of substance to it for me on this one. Nothing that really reached out and grabbed me, other than the music kind of carrying it. Like I said, I didn't give this a crazy high score. I'm kind of curious to see where you're at because this is one of my lower ones. I gave this a 6.8.
Ooh, the
You
you.
liked it a lot more than me?
This is my favorite song off the album.
Really? And
Yeah.
I poo-pooed it. I
Mhm.
yucked the yum. Well, tell me what you liked about it so much.
Okay, so this is a single. The cello and the keys open the song, followed up by some droning notes and the drums before the song really kicks off, finding this rhythm. Um, I really like the 1-2-1 beat that the drums follow. The vocals hit 27 seconds in. Coming off the first few lines, the lines of lyrics, the drums hit a 1-2-1-2-1-2 as the bass and the synth hit with some snapping as well as the maraca. Exercise your demons and perpetrate the crime. Sink lower into your own design. The strings ring out. Your strings ring out. You're felonious. You're sick inside. So corrupted. So fun tonight. I also like the line on the sidewalks. It's fun to terrorize. Like, I don't know, it's just interesting.
Terra.
Yeah, terrorize. Terrorize. The
Makes me want
fun.
to horse laugh.
Haha. The synth coming off of corrupted so fun tonight. Synth is like very rapid and distinct, and really getting a solid like 25 seconds to shine. I played it for you earlier.
Yeah, I know. I wanted to elaborate. Like, after you play, like, once I listened to it, I wasn't listening to this when I was, like, reading my notes. I did miss the mark a little bit for me, but still lyrically, like, there's not a whole lot on this one that I like, but musically, it's very good. It's worthy of a higher score musically. I think just lyrically, it didn't really speak out and grab me, but it is a fine track. There's
Sure.
nothing wrong with it. I could easily give it a 7. I will say that.
So the vocals becoming kind of effects heavy as the cello comes back, as the music becomes more stripped down to just the drum beat, the maraca, the snapping, little boops from the synth as the music starts to fade out. While I listened to this album probably twice before I started to listen to it and properly take notes song by song, this song flew under my radar on every prior listen. At least I think it did. It either flew under my radar or I got this mixed up with another song from earlier that kind of did similar things.
Well, there's a lot of similarities throughout this album.
Yeah. But giving it like a solid listen and examination, yeah, it became my favorite song off the album. I give it an 8.3 out of 10.
Okay.
We are 8 songs in, and 7 of them have made my like songs. This album really surprised me. Jonathan Bree has found a new fan for sure.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know what that was.
I like to think Jonathan Bree's like in his fucking pantyhose, like, oh, wow. On to track number 9, we have Children, coming in at 3 minutes and 25 seconds. Piano keys and some light drumming open the song. The vocals come in along with some strings and faint snapping. See them moving on the floor. Hear boom in your ears. Taste the drip go down your throat. Yet you still feel dead. At 1 minute and 1 second, the sound like totally changes. Yeah, it totally changes. The drums continue along with the snapping and the vocals. Um, and what sounds like some like almost ghostly like backing vocals too. This is where some very distinct bass comes in with a 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4. The kids don't want you around. You're not welcome. Your friends have moved to the burbs to raise children. At 2:45, the sound changes again. The strings come in as the bass is a little lighter with some soft synth keys. The vocal delivery is also different, coming off as more high pitched and less baritone. Uh, it's not in your mind. No, it's not in your mind. It's not a bad song at all. It was like well made, which is to be expected at this point in the album.
Yeah.
This just I don't know, it just didn't really do much to hook me. I give this a 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
This was actually my favorite song on the album. I'm just kidding. So this is one of the darker songs on the album to me. Even the tone of the piano is somewhat sinister. This is where I dropped the sinister word, just because it is kind of dark. And the delivery kind of changes. The music changes with the delivery of "In this room, a weed amongst the bloom." Obsolete. This is no longer your scene. I thought the writing on this one was solid, and I'll kind of elaborate on that here in a second. Even though it's a little darker, I did like this one just for that.
It has like elements that kind of remind me of Angel Dust a little bit.
Yeah, musically,
and, like,
and even
also
little Mike Patton.
Vocals.
Yeah, no, I could see, dude. It's crazy how much we bring up. Check out our channel for we covered Faith No More, Angel Dust, which you might be not looking, but hearing us say that and shake your head like I did when Shane selected it. But it was phenomenal.
Really interesting album.
Yes, it's very good and it's well worth a listen. And if you listen to it, like I said, listen to our episode. We covered it track by track, just like we're doing here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really thought the line "A weed amongst the bloom" was really deep. I wasn't crazy about this one overall, just like you. But I really do like the concept of it, and that's probably the like saving grace for this track for me. To me, I kind of just contributed to like the stage where you kind of realize you're not a kid anymore, and you're just a weed amongst the bloom. Like you don't. Maybe it's like losing your innocence. I'm not exactly sure. We've kind of touched on this theme in a couple albums. I can't remember what track, but we covered Tom Petty Wildflowers, and there was an album or a song on the album rather that kind of just it's like, wow, I'm an adult now. Like I have to figure this shit out on my own. Like no one's gonna come save me. But overall, yeah, this one wasn't bad. It's definitely nothing I was crazy about. I prefer the happier Jonathan Bree sounding tracks over the dark. A little better score than the last track. I think more just for the concept of it. The music was good too, though. I did like the sinister sound, a little bit of a darker vibe to it. But for me, it was more just the concept, at least what I took away from it, whether I interpreted it right or not. That's kind of just how I felt about it. I'm going to give this, though, a 6.8. And that will move us to track number 10, 6.9.
Aha.
69, rather. Maybe. I don't know if it's 6.9 or 69. It's hard to say. But I would assume 69.
I think it's 69.
It's mentioned in the track. Shortest track on the album at 2 minutes, 8 seconds. And unfortunately, I'm going to go ahead and get this out of the way. It's the worst track that features a female vocalist, at least for me. I might be poo-pooing it. Did you like it?
I'd say it's the worst track.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay. You were looking at me and I'm like, damn.
No. You're good. You're good.
You're going to kick me out before we get to pod.
Kick me out before dinner proper.
Yeah. It's like, oh,
before I get my egg roll. You want the egg roll? You better give it a fucking low rating, all right?
Yeah, it's with a track named like 69 though. I would hope there's a duet in it. You know what I mean? But it takes two to tango. I say worse with the female vocalists, and that's nothing against Choi or Jonathan Bree. Who was this again? Christina Choi?
Crystal.
Crystal Choi. And it was something with a C. Um, it's nothing against her or Bree. It's just it's very short.
Yeah, they don't
And
have
there's
time.
there's no lyrics, very little lyrics, um, and there's very little of anything for two podcasters. I want to speak for us here to really say anything about this track because I'm assuming you don't have a whole lot for it either, just because there's not a lot going on. The one positive thing I will say is I like the vocal handoff between the two, which I mean, that's fine because I've kind of been harping on the fact that I've wanted Bray to be involved more in the female leads, even though this isn't really so much a lead, it's more of a duet. But I did like Troy singing, "You'll find the answer, just use your head, boy." And then Bree comes back. Right after, there's like a nice little bass riff, followed by Bree delivering the verse, "You'll find the answer, just use your head, girl." And they kind of coincide with each other. And that was like the only good thing about it that I could take away. Um, and I'm going to give this not a crazy high score because it's not that great, but I'm not going to give it a crazy low score either because I didn't hate it, and it's so short. It's like I could power through it, and it's on the backside of the album. So if you're here, you might as well power through. You only got two more tracks. Again, though, it's not a crazy high score. I gave it a flat 6, and just happy that it's short and didn't really drag itself out.
Sure. So I got the orchestral strings and the piano keys kind of, not even piano keys, I think it'd just be synth keys, but the keys. They creep in, start the song, as well as some plucking from a stringed instrument. Crystal Choi lends her vocals coming in at 27 seconds with drums. You'll find the answers, just use your head, boy. Some funky bass guitar comes, followed by Jonathan's vocals. You'll find the answers, just use your head, girl. Before the two sing together, harmonizing, Embrace in 69 for Venus Butterfly. The Glockenspiel is really going off when they sing together. Like, specifically, like, once they start harmonizing, the Glockenspiel starts to come in. Uh, the Glockenspiel bass, the strings close out the last, like, 20 or so seconds of the song. This kind of felt more like an interlude, given just how short it is.
It's fair.
And how little it had in regards to lyrics and no real major changes musically. It's okay. It just kind of felt like a bit of filler, honestly. Um, I gave this a 6.9. Just kidding. I gave this a 5.7.
Haha! I didn't even think
Aha!
about that.
Onto
That would have been too high of a score, anyways.
yeah, for sure. Onto track number 11, we have No Reminders. There's like a very sharp, like high pitched strings that are contrasted by like a sweet sounding, like deeper violin and some like low bass guitar as well. Drums come in around 35 seconds, um, and at 42 seconds the drums do this like they do this erratic beat. Like it's at 35 seconds they're a little steady and continuous, but then at oh no, my bad. The drums come in at 35 seconds. They start to do like this like tumbling sound that like goes on till 42 seconds. It's like they tumble before they like it's like they almost stumble and fall before like regaining their rhythm and like keep going. That was hard to say to get all of that out, but that's okay. I did it. So just under a minute in, the vocals come in. Your concern is well noted amongst all our friends, and really you should claim them. I'll make no real effort. Coming off the verse, the two stringed instruments start to sound kind of creepy and foreboding, especially with some haunting backing vocals that come in. The chorus hits, and the drums, the strings stop. The guitars are distorted and drag out before the backing vocals come back in, more angelic, as the keys come in and give a brighter, more pleasant tone. The second chorus has, I don't know, there's like a deep, gravelly sound to the Arnie baritone vocals. No, I don't want you coming around, and I don't need your sympathy. For the last bit of lyrics, they are brighter and almost optimistic. as the backing vocals and keys swell up to a finale as the music fades out. Um, I was starting to worry just a little bit that the album was going to make, I don't know, it's going to take like a pretty serious dive in quality just because of how good the first half of the album was. And there was like two or three songs off the second half of the album that I was kind of like, on. But this was good. I felt like this was a little return to form. It did make my like songs. It's not like it's not outranking some of the earlier stuff.
Yeah,
But
I wouldn't expect it to.
I gave it a 7.2 though.
Okay, we're pretty close on this one. I liked it. And there's a nice musical intro for that first 54 seconds. I mean, you're almost chomping out a minute of just instrumental before Bree gives us the vocals. Kind of heavy on the bass riff with the strings in the background as the percussion kind of drips in. It's another showcase of Bree's deep, super deep in this case, baritone vocals. And around the 125 minute, that's around the 125 mark, and then onward throughout. He said pretty low volume on the intro, really laying down like the groundwork of what's to come. It's very like direct. I did like the instrumental side of things on this one too. It maybe a little bit more than I like the vocals, but I do like the vocals because they're both like hand in hand. This one I didn't really see one that really outshined the other. I kind of liked them both, and I liked his delivery of "No, I don't want you coming around, and I don't need your sympathy. All I need is no reminders of what I of of what was and who I know I can never be." That was easy for me to say. It's very direct, and I'd say this is really the only track where I felt almost like an anger from Bree, and I liked it. I'm not gonna lie; it had a nice tone to it. Like I feel like he got something off his chest here. Overall, it reminded me, and it's a stretch. It kind of reminded me of just like the anger that Phil Collins gives us during "I Don't Care." Even though they're way different, and the message is quite a bit different, it's a little bit of a stretch, but I kind of connected the two. This is not a banger by any means, but I still found it like really good, and it's kind of relatable. And I like that in a track. If I can identify with something and kind of relate it, it's solid in my book. And this one again kind of showed more of his overall range, with this one kind of being a little bit more anger, a little bit more heavy, if you want to say, compared to anything else on the album. It's worthy of a 7.1 to me. I liked it. It didn't make my like songs, but actually like re-listening to it again, it's right there. I'm probably gonna add it just because. I mean, why not? The whole album, like you said, it's like it's pretty much all my liked songs. I mean, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not as heavy into it as you, but I'm right there with you. And I mean, we'll get into it on our closing thoughts because we're right
I
about
could
there.
almost see this being an album that I like love,
Yeah,
and you're
there's
kind of like I could see that being the case, but it's not.
no. Well, you felt the same way with hate to bring it back, but Faith No More.
Yeah,
I remember you were listening to it and you texted me like the week we were doing the notes before the show, and you were like, "I don't think he's
sorry.
gonna like it." And then I'm
Yeah, it's
like,
like
"Actually,
let me tell you, I kind of like
I can't love it.
it.
I swear a lot."
Yeah. Swear.
But this is not something I'd seek out individually. But if I was definitely like skipping throughout the album, I would probably stop here and enjoy this one because it's that good. Like I said, 7-1. And that will move us to the final track, track number 12, After the Curtains Close, which I thought was very fitting because it's the name of the album for one, but it's also the last track after the curtains close, with a runtime of 3 minutes 23 seconds. Not get into it, my thoughts on like the overall concept of the song, but I thought it was solid musically. Nothing I wouldn't expect from the album at this point because everything has been good, as we were just kind of both talking about. We can both agree on that. The song has a lot of lyrical flow that just kind of rolls off the tongue pretty good, and Bree's delivery, like we've stated in previous tracks, is just really good. The way he delivers and stretches out vocals and slows stuff down, makes it fit, just makes it flow really good. But I thought this was one that really like showcased that. Um, and the title alone kind of just justifies that this is the closing track, and it fits very well. Um, but I think it kind of resonates with the verse, just it being the closing track. Swan on to the stage, holding your bouquet. But after the side shows and the curtains close, there's no need for an oddity. You won't speak their language. You're left a wounded narcissist, and no one wants your babies. Now that no one wants your babies, I was like, well, that's kind of rough. It's a little brutal, but it kind of really, to me, it just kind of spoke like the concept of the song is the lifestyle of a musician or just any performer in general, where you can go out and do this show and everybody loves you and they're all cheering for you, but like after the curtains close, it's all over and you're done. You have to go back to your life as a person, not the artist or the performer. And it kind of made me think, like, I imagine it's like a high and then like sobering up to a degree. And you're probably always like having the craving for more of that high and just never letting go of that. But it's almost like living two lives, I thought. Maybe I'm digging into it too deep, but I really like the concept of that. And I thought Bree really nailed it with this one. And it's very fitting. And while he might not have like a huge following, he's very good. Like, we're both going to agree that he's very good. So it fits. And it's a great concept. I really wasn't crazy about the song overall compared to some of the other tracks, but it's another one that like has just so much depth and meaning to it, and I can really get behind that. I'm not gonna give it a crazy high score. I'm gonna go with just a 7.2 on this one. Might be a little high, might be a little low. I'm curious to see what you think, but it's just such a good concept. I can't not give it a anything below a 7. Um, and it's I don't want to say it's something that would make my like songs because I don't think this one would, and it
Mm,
hasn't up to this point. But the concept of it and just the theme of it is really good.
okay.
And it's a good closing track. One of the better closing tracks, I think.
Okay. So I got the opening of this song like somewhat reminded me of Motion Picture Soundtrack by Radiohead. The harmonium opens the track, then some strings, then some guitar, then some synth keys before the vocals and drums come in. Swinging on a star, enchanted by your charm, swan onto the stage, holding your bouquet. But after the sideshows, after the curtains close, there's no need for an oddity. Which, like, I don't know, that definitely seems like kind of introspective. Like, he's a musician that fucking has like thing over his face, you know what I mean? It's like, how odd. And then he has his little wig on top, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's odd.
Some of the music videos, they like all have a little
He just,
hairpiece on.
I was gonna say his lips aren't even moving, you know what I mean? But, the vocals, the keys, and the additional instrumentation start to liven up. I also noticed some like warbled synths, like whenever he's singing, like that section of the song. Coming off of that, I was caught off guard by the backing female vocals. Uh, Honey, don't despair. She's still out there. She's still out there. The song goes back to its like lower tone from the last bit of lyrics. At 2:23 until the end of the song, it's full instrumentation with a nice bit of synth, strings, bass, harmonium, and some vocalization from Bree. This was a pretty nice way to close out the album, going out on a good note. Not particularly high, but not bad either. Like I'm glad that this wasn't like a high five. You know what I mean? Like no, it's I give it a 7 out of 10. I initially
We're
gave it
right
a
there.
I initially gave it a 6.8, but hearing you talk about it, I was like, yeah, yeah,
Got
yeah.
due diligence here.
He got a good point. Like I didn't really think about it that deep. But I put the same thing you did without adjusting it or anything. It's just shy of making my like songs. Like it's not gonna make it, but it's good.
Yeah,
So
I can respect it.
I give this a flat 7. So overall thoughts on the album.
I think we're both in agreement here. It's very solid. Surprised me, as I'm sure it surprised you.
Mm-hmm.
It was good through and through. Like, I really enjoyed it, and there's plenty of songs on it. It's crazy because it's not something I would really crank up. But then again, there's tracks on it that I could crank up and jam to. But it's like I feel like it's something you could listen to more at a quiet volume, or just kind of have it on and enjoy it. It's not really
Mm.
meant to be blasted. Like a lot of the music I like, it's like, oh, I want to crank it up. I want to hear it real loud. Where this is just like,
More of a casual listen.
yeah, but I'm not taking anything away from it. I have the hiccups. I'm sorry. That's why I keep pausing. I'm not taking anything away from it by saying I don't want to crank it up because there's plenty of tracks that are catchy enough. But it's just good, and it's I don't want to say he's a scientist, but like he's the way he does things is it's very nice, and I can respect it. It's very clever, and I think it kind of relates back to the Bowie sound. Like I think he's actually just a really good performer. He's a really good artist.
Yeah. And I don't think like this certainly isn't like something I would put on like while we're like out on the boat or something
No,
like that. But like if you're like lounging around the house and you got this on in the background while you're kind of like
I'm
doing your
thinking
own
like
thing.
doing a little bit of cleaning around the house. It's like
Yeah. Shit, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't think like don't get me wrong, there were like a song or two off of this album that cleared an 8 for me, but the rest of it was like mostly sevens and like a few that were like just below a 7. Some that are really below a 7, but whatever. But like for 12 songs, like only having maybe like 3 or 4 of them like be kind of that's pretty good.
That's 75% good. I mean, Rotten Apples would consider that a hit.
And I don't think that its highs weren't like the highest of highs, but they were highs that were consistent enough that I'm like, this is good.
Yeah, nothing really fell off a cliff.
For going in blind to an album,
We did pretty good.
This was nice.
You did pretty good, not me, not we.
You had your part.
I mean, I did help select, but
so
I'm glad we did it.
Me too. So yeah, I enjoyed that quite a bit. On to our bonus track. We have One More Night by Michael Kiwanuka.
Kiwanuka, yes.
Kiwanuka.
Do you want to take the lead? Go ahead and take the lead.
Sure.
You brought it up.
So coming in at 3 minutes and 53 seconds, song starts, and the first thing that came to mind was the band The Heavy, which I actually put on last week after you told me like this would be our bonus track. The guitar, the bass, the drums, and what sounds like some organ are all very steady, coming in really well together. 45 seconds. The guitar has a hum to it on the chorus, and also starts to mix it up on the second verse. Some backing vocals and some snapping start getting incorporated into the song as well. There's also some additional drumming in the background, sounding like very metallic, almost like drumming on a can or like a metal bucket or something. There's also a little bit of brass instrumentation that shows up briefly. I haven't made like much mention of the lyrics as they're very repetitive. It's basically like one line and then that line is repeated with the last word being changed. One more night in the morning, or till the morning. One more night till the day. It's kind of similar to the song Until We Are Done. Repetitive lyrics, yes, but I feel like the song is going for more of a vibe than anything else. And musically, I feel like it does really succeed. And the vocals like still have like a soulfulness to them, so they're definitely like carrying their weight as well. So I don't have much else to add. I gave this a flat 7 too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit higher on it, but as it should be, it is my bonus. So this was featured on the Love and Hate album. It's kind of a very soul and rock and roll vibe. There's a nice electric guitar, some driving drums, bass guitar, and some very soulful vocals. Um, there's also some keyboard and like some subtle string instruments. And I read that there is some saxophone in it. I couldn't really hear it, but then the more I listened for it, I can hear it, but it seems to be very subtle. I've always really enjoyed the vibe of this track and Kiwanuka's vocals. He's actually done some stuff with the group Salt that I really like as well. He was kind of featured in. I guess they kind of just. I thought maybe he belonged to the group, but it seems like he was kind of just like a somebody they kind of picked up to do a couple tracks with. But the overall vibe of the song is pretty much given in that first verse. One more night till the morning. One more night till the day. I'll be right in the morning. I'll be all right in the day. And it's very upbeat, even though the artist Michael Kiwanuka delivering this kind of seems to be struggling, but it seems to be very empowering, like kind of a I will overcome whatever kind of vibe. And I really like that. I've always kind of looked to it in that way. This song was kind of like on repeat for me, at least maybe like once a day, a couple times a week, probably in like the middle of 2025, excuse me. And I kind of really got into it, and he was kind of completely new to my ears and still is pretty new as I haven't really listened to any of his albums track by track. But this one was nice. And like I said, overall, I was kind of really into this track at a point, and it's still good. It's still solid. I'm not as crazy about it now as I was then. I gave this just a 7.8.
Okay.
Because I do like it quite a bit.
Nice.
So, that being it for the show for this week, do you want to take a quick break and we can choose? We'll be right back and we'll announce the album for next week.
All right. We are back from our break.
Our long talky talk break.
Our long talky talk break. Discussing what next week is going to be looking like.
So tell us next week, your bonus track.
Next week's bonus is going to be the song All the Debts I Owe by Camp, and that is with 2 A's. That's
Comp.
not ow the Death Sio. Comp. It's on the
Comp.
camp. There's two A's. So that is going to be our bonus. All the Death Sio. That's me. And next week's album.
Next week's album, we have a good one for you. It's probably one of their most popular albums, I would
Probably the
say.
most.
We're going to be covering 16 Stone by Bush, which I will tell you guys, not that you're all from Ohio like we are, but we have a little local store here, chain. They're still around, aren't they? Half Price Books?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, good for them. They're still out with their
Mm-hmm.
physical media. So 16 Stone was so good. I had one copy, and I was literally in this store, and they had a clearance section, and 16 Stone was there for $1, and it was like, how can I not?
I was jealous as fuck once I heard the album.
Yeah, no, it's a good album. So yeah, tune in next week for that episode where we cover track by track thoughts and feelings. We have a new rating system too for next week that we will be unveiling.
It will be different.
It will be a little different. So yeah, come back for 16 Stone next week and All the Debts I Owe by Comp. So until next time.
Don't work too hard now.